Hey, good evening. It is time to do another live update and show you what's going on. We have a couple of new warnings. I think that's 2 new warnings. No, there we go. It's just one. For Northern Rapides Parish, I'll get you the text on that in just a second. But it is looking like this is going to be another hail threat for northern parts of Rapides Parish. And I'll zoom on this just to show you exactly where we're talking about. You can see that warning right there. It's thundering at my house. That made me jump a little. Yeah, this is going to head right across... I'll do this, actually. This is going to head right across Timber Trails, Paradise, Kingsville. It's going to continue to move kind of almost to the east, and it's going to scrape just north of Highway 28, and then there's another storm out west from that. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what this warning, what the text on this one is. Severe thunderstorm warning remains. No, that's the old one. Sorry about this. There we go. Severe thunderstorm warning for up to $half sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. This is going to be in effect until 7:30. So we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for northern parts of Rapides Parish. And yeah, that is for a severe thunderstorm located near Alexandria International Airport. So yes, Natalie, it's definitely right over you there. And hail damage to vehicles is possible, as well as wind damage. Your typical stuff there. Alexandria, Pineville, Alexandria International Airport, of course, Ball, Kingsville, DeVille, Labouche, Tioga, Timber Trails, Esslerfield, and Holloway and Paradise are in the path of this. So Alexandria and Pineville are included in this warning. So we got pea-size hail out on Roe Gully Road in Pineville. Makes sense. Yeah, we're going to see, and please, I know we're going to have a lot more reports coming in, so let them fire away, because I'm going to want to know what's going on with these storms. And then it looks like these are developing back toward the west as well. So the southern part of this warning, you are probably, if you're out here west of Alexandria, south of 28, but north of Woodworth, you're not really going to see much out of this first cell, but the second one is one to watch. And then there's these other ones developing to the west. And what we've seen with these as these continue to move this way is that they have a lot of thunder, as you can hear, and they have produced some hail across the area. Now, this doesn't look like the signals we were seeing earlier when we were seeing hail sizes that were larger than golf balls in some spots up to the north throughout Natchitoches Parish, and then into Wynn Parish had some hail as well. But we are seeing lots of hail in these storms, even if it's smaller, and that has been covering the ground in some spots. And that is a possibility with any of these storms. The special weather statement on this one that looks borderline is because that is a special weather statement for hail up to 3/4 of an inch in diameter moving into western Vernon and northwestern Beauregard Parish. So that cell's one to watch. Got another one near Kirbyville, Texas that's going to move into Beauregard Parish later on. But for now, the most intense threat in our area is this one up here, and then the one over northern Rapides Parish. So let's take a look at this one, moving now from Georgetown down 165 all the way to Pollock. This is a big storm here, and it's pushing toward the northeast. I don't see that real organized, intense hail core out of this, but I do see the potential for at least some marginally severe hail up toward 3/4 to an inch in diameter, and perhaps a lot of small hail as this crosses over 165. That should be sub-severe, or at least, even if it were marginally severe, hopefully wouldn't be damaging hail. If it's right at about an inch, usually you can handle that. But if you are in Gina, the Beulah community, Nebo, Rogers, if you're downstream from this one, you want to prepare for that as best you can. But right now, this one looks a little more intense to me, so I'm going to focus on this for now. This is also moving through a very populated area here from Ball and Tioga down toward Kingsville. This is, just to give you a frame of reference on this, that is right where, if you're coming over Beulah and you head up toward, and you're heading up into Kingsville, right up there by the Walmart and all that stuff, this is the area where this storm, it looks like the core of this is going to be coming across. So Paradise down to Kingsville, Tioga Elementary, Tioga High School, all those schools. You got all those schools right at there, Mary Goff, over toward Paradise and Ball Elementary. You are in the path of this storm. If you live near those schools, that is where this storm is going to be tracking. I am down around here, so you can see, again, clear of this one in Alexandria. Most of the city is in the clear from that one, but what we're watching is all this stuff off to the west. And as typical, I'm going to at least take a look at the wind velocities, even those southwesterly winds feeding into a storm that's moving from southwest to northeast typically means we don't have a ton of wind shear. So with not a lot of low-level wind shear, the tornado threat is very low, and I'm not seeing any sort of low-level rotation. I'm going to go to the Shreveport radar and just see if we see it in the mid-levels. There's a little something there, but there's nothing saying that these are going to spin up into tornadic thunderstorms. But yeah, we do have those mid-level mesocyclones that are very important for hail production and, of course, possible damaging wind, which I have not seen damaging wind reports yet. That's some good news for you, but we've seen lots of hail reports, which again kind of surprised me because I thought today was going to be more of an isolated damaging wind threat, but with these storms staying a little bit more cellular, thankfully, we lacked the wind shear because we had supercells, or we have them, but they're not able to, because they don't have that low-level shear, you're not able to get that low-level turning. So these aren't even coming close, per radar, to producing tornadoes. When are the temperatures going to start dropping? You know, that's a good question. I wanted to see something before I got on here, and I can probably give you a pretty specific answer here. Let me just pull this up. I could pull it up through the system, but this is actually going to be a little easier. So in Alexandria right now, 73 degrees, dew point 66. We are still ripe here for the severe weather threat. And then when you get to the northwest, Shreveport is still 66, but the dew point is 47. So the dew point's a lot lower. That means the instability's gone. They could still see some showers form, but that's going to be about it. And Natchitoches now down to 65 with a dew point of 62. So it looks like that front is just about on your doorstep, or possibly even through that area. Monroe down to 61. So it's going to cool off in a couple hours, and tomorrow morning we're going to be like in the upper 30s to near 40 degrees. Going to be a big change across the area in a pretty short time. So right now we have, let's see, 2 active warnings in the area. 3, actually. This one is up in northern Catahoula Parish, but that storm is exiting. I could see this warning possibly being expanded eastward, but even though you're in the tornado watch, it looks like that tornado threat is pretty low. The hail threat has been our main go-to with these storms, and right now I think our best threat or our best chance to see hail. Again, we had that report out on Roe Gully Road, and I need to look at my reports here coming in, but on I-49 and north, and there's another scan coming in. This is the heaviest little batch of it right here in this relatively unpopulated area that's just north of, let's see, yeah, that's the Red River. So it's just north of the Red River, and it is south of the Grant Parish line. So Timber Trails into Ball, Paradise, and perhaps Kingsville, that's where this is going to move over, and we're going to see some more hail reports, and we'll probably be getting those in the comments here pretty soon. Ooh, it's loud out there. Let's see lightning. All right, so yeah, we see this. Here's the thing. I know some of you are like me. You want to go outside, you want to watch the lightning. Here's the problem. It's not raining here. That's why I'm hearing all this loud stuff. I'm down here, and we've got lightning that's out ahead in the anvil, which looks really cool when you're standing way far away from these storms, but you can be out watching this storm that looks like it's 10, 15 miles away from you, or 5, 6 miles away. Let's see how far it is. Just give you a little measurement on this. You're 6 miles from the rainfall here, but you're getting lightning strikes that are coming out of that anvil of the cloud. So let's go ahead and be safe, be inside. You can take a look at the camera if you want here. Let me pop that up, show you real quick what we have going on the camera here, looking out from the Cenla Broadcasting Sky camera. Man, that looked kind of interesting. Hold up, want to see that again. See when it lights up. I mean, there's no low-level shear, but my goodness, if we had low-level shear, that lowering that I'm seeing out there would certainly be something that would have my attention. Let me see. Just taking a look at this, that was a pretty good view of it, and it kind of held on there. That's a very interesting cloud feature. Now, from what I'm seeing, I don't see anything that is showing a tornado threat, but that is one impressive looking lowering and a very rock solid looking one on this storm as we look northwest toward the Coliseum. So looking from Texas Avenue, right around Jackson Street, looking toward the Coliseum. That would be into the storm that we're seeing near Boyce, and a very interesting look to things here. Let's see. Turning off my sound on my stuff because I don't want to hear that, but I just want to see. All right, I'm going to hop back over and look at the radar image on this because that is it's interesting. Again, if there were a different environment, I'd be like, okay, that's pretty wild to watch. But you see this, and this is what I'm talking about. I'll follow along with it. Just it's not this ragged stuff out here. It's this more solid lowering right here. That's the thing I'm keeping an eye on. And I don't see any, and it's tough this time of night to see that anyway. I don't see any visual rotation or anything, and I'm not seeing it on radar, but we're certainly going to keep an eye on things. Let's go ahead and pop back over and take a look at our analysis mode, which shows us the radar. Lots of lightning here. We're going to take a look at velocity, just be safe. Not seeing anything there. This stuff down here, don't mind that. I'm going to go up and again look a little higher up from a different radar. And yeah, still not seeing anything that's over the top there. Storm relative winds, base velocity, nothing. Okay, it's probably just an interesting cloud feature. And that's, of course, what we want to see. We don't want any surprise tornadoes. But there is probably some hail falling up here. That is now moving into Ball and Paradise, maybe Kingsville. That's the core right there. These little areas probably putting down. I would estimate, looking at this, we're probably seeing nickels, maybe some quarter-sized hail out of this. Doesn't look like one of those cores that's huge and it's producing really large, damaging hail, but it could pulse up. And then we're watching back to the west here. This is what's going to come in and smack us pretty good here in Alexandria over the next hour or so. So looking at the comments here, winds strong at AEX. I'm just looking to see where we have some hail threats. Or where we have hail reports. Thunder in Belledo. Yeah, storming hail in Sherwood Forest, lightning hail and rain Sherwood Forest. So yeah, it's getting after it there. Wind is strong at AEX. Yeah, I don't think they're getting any planes out of there for a while. Strong wind and heavy rain in Fairway East. Thunder and lightning. Okay, not getting a ton of hail reports, so that's good news. I'm not going to act like I'm upset about that. But these storms stretching back here, this is what's going to move through Alexandria. This is, from what I'm seeing, it's not so much tied exactly to the cold front. It's a little out ahead of that. So that front is up to the northwest still. I don't think we're going to see any severe weather pop behind these storms because these are really going to do a number on the instability that's left over. But yeah, these are some pretty impressive storms here. And of course, I'm going to go back over and look at the camera in just a minute because that was a wild view there and we had all that lightning and everything. But yeah, there's nothing showing, nothing indicating rotation on this. So even though it looks like that, we have to go with the evidence we're seeing there. Now, that being said, if the evidence showed something else on that camera, well, then we would transition things over and say, okay, all this analysis is wrong, and we're going to believe what we see here. So looking out there right now, just waiting on a lightning strike to light things up, but I don't think I see exactly what I saw earlier. But let's take a look here. Just waiting on the lightning now. I guess we can sit here and just watch a few raindrops fall. There's the lightning that's, that would be more toward the northwest. Maybe it's taming down a little bit. We were getting a lot more lightning out of this thing a little while ago. But if you weren't watching, we had this little lowering right here that was really kind of interesting looking. And, all right, fine. No lightning for me, I guess. My mom had dime-sized hail. Yeah, Rapide Station. It looked like we had some out around that Love Station out there. No hail and Ball. Good news. Praying this passes. Heavy rain, small hail. Yeah, okay. So we are not seeing the reports of the big hail. That's the good news. Not seeing anything scary here on this image right now. And I know why I'm not seeing lightning. It was paused. It was kind of locked up there. But then when it opens up, that's when we'll see a little bit more. So I might have to reboot the camera. But for now, we're just going to keep it on this and keep an eye, see if we see anything happen here when it does start moving, because there was still a lot of lightning when that did happen. I just didn't notice the cars weren't moving. All right, so we're going to bail off the camera since it's paused on me for a minute, and I might be improving that fairly soon. So let's go over to the radar, take a peek at that, and see what we have going on. There are your storms. There is your warning. The warning remains in effect for parts of Grant and LaSalle Parish and extreme northern Catahoula. This one has not been severe warned moving into Leesville and, moving into Vernon Parish and eventually Leesville and northwestern Beauregard. There are more storms out here, so most of us are going to at least hear the thunder. Most of us are going to see some at least brief heavy rainfall, and some of us, unfortunately, are seeing some severe weather. This is what's moving in right now. Again, lightning is occurring in Alexandria several miles ahead of this main storm. And I'm going to put it in motion here now that we haven't looked at that in a little while. But yeah, those storms are kind of pivoting a little bit more to the east. It's not as much of an east-northeast track as what we were seeing earlier. So these are going to move right in. This is the traffic circle down here, so you can kind of figure out where you are. But you can see those storms are creeping in through Gardner, and then it's going to be moving right through the heart of Alexandria, probably in the next 10, 15 minutes. And then behind this storm, we have others, but I think these would also then start to pivot a little bit more toward the east, and these are going to move through Woodworth and Forest Hill and so on and so forth. And eventually we get that severe threat out of here, probably by about 9 o'clock. I'd said 8 to 9. Looks more like 9. It's gone already for you up in Manny and Zwally and Natchitoches. You're done with the severe threat out of this one. But to our friends to the southeast, here in Avoyelles, Evangeline, St. Landry Parish, that threat is going to be a little bit longer, a little bit later when that ends. And then we could see, again, some more showers forming, as we already are seeing a little bit. And you can see this up here, just light stuff. This is in the cooler air behind this system near Shreveport. We're seeing showers pop up. You can see there from the Shreveport radar that all this activity is way, way out to your southeast. And you can see those northwesterly winds. This is showing your low-level wind field. This is just the showers that are forming over top of the colder air. And you can see that everything else near the surface moving in from the northwest. So that's going to bring us our cooler air. Is that a new warning that just popped? Let me see. No, they just cut that one down a little bit. All right, I'm going to move back to the Fort Polk radar. Check to see if we have any hail reports. Jonesville, it looks like you're going to see a pretty beefy storm move through here in about 30 minutes or so, maybe a little bit longer. But at least as of now, there's not an imminent threat for severe weather. That warning to your west could be extended, but it looks like the worst of that storm is going to split to your north and perhaps stay to your south. Here, that the most active storm we're seeing, or the most intense storm we're seeing right now, is definitely this one over northern Rapides and extreme southern Grant Parish, where hailing hard in Tioga. Hail in Tioga. All right, we're getting reports of hail now. If you guys could give me any idea on size, that would be awesome. I would assume we're probably looking at maybe nickel to quarter-sized hail out of this at the biggest, and definitely, lots of peas and half-inch size hail mixed in with that. Small hail in Tioga, lots of lightning and wind. Okay, let's zoom in on it and see where exactly that heaviest core is right now and give you an idea, and I see exactly why you're reporting all that hail in Tioga, and it's coming for you, Ball. Right here in Tioga, that is going to be 71. If you're along 71, that's where the heaviest core is moving through Tioga right now. That is going to push due east almost here. It looks like it's going to cross over 71, then 165. If you are in Ball, it's probably too late to garage the car as it's raining really hard. You get a lot of lightning in the area right now. But hopefully you did so already, because we've had these warnings going for a little while. The worst of this part of it's going to stay north of Kingsville, but then we have this coming through. And fortunately, what I'm seeing here is it doesn't look, and actually I think we had another scan come in there, so the hail looks a little bit less on that last scan in around Tioga and Ball. Just see a pea size, some larger, smaller than a dime. Okay, good. So this is not big hail, and that makes sense now seeing that. But it also shows me that we could see some hail with these cells that are right along I-49, again, up toward the Love Station there, right around Rapid Station Road. But for us here in town, I don't see a big hail core here. Let me see. Am I on the right radar? Yeah, I was making sure I wasn't on Shreveport still. It looks like these storms are certainly, they're heavy. We have a lot of lightning going on. Let's see how much lightning we actually have right now. 114 strikes in the last 15 minutes, expand out through the whole area. Yeah, we're looking at over 500 lightning strikes. These are quite electrified. That happens when you get ice aloft in the storm. Helps with that friction, and you get more lightning strikes out of these storms. And when we see a lot of lightning, sometimes we see a pulse up in lightning. That can mean we're about to see an uptick in the hail as well. But it also makes the radar look pretty cluttered up. Hailed and sharp, bad. And you know what? I ran into some crazy hail one time in Sharp. Hail on Tioga and off Ball cutoff. Okay. Hailing in Ball now. All right, folks. Well, it's coming through the area. This is the big show right here. After this slides through, and I realize now why the radar might look a little less impressive, because there is a storm right over the radar. So look what happens here. When that happens, this is kind of cool. I like having this stuff so I can talk to you about it. But okay, so we had all these like kind of pinks and blacks showing up, and then see that storm? I was about to point with my hand. Oh my goodness, I'm losing it. Out here over Hicks. Well, that's the radar site. So as this comes over the radar site, everything looks like it weakens, and that didn't happen. What happened is we have some attenuation. We have all that rain and maybe some small hail around the radar site, so that is effectively blocking a little bit of the beam that's heading out from that. So now that I see this, and that's why you have to take a look at everything on radar, I realize that this is still just as impressive as it was earlier moving into Ball, and that this is probably actually producing some dime-sized hail around Barrett, and that, you know, just north of 49, they're north of the Red River, and that is going to move in toward Kingsville and Paradise. So if you miss this first round of hail, I think you'll probably see something, and we'll see this look like it's going to ramp up here as that storm moves off the radar site. Let me go to Lake Charles and see if I can prove this thesis. Go back a little bit. It has weakened some, but not nearly as dramatically as what we're seeing, and I don't think they have anything over the radar down that way. No. Okay, so we do have severe storms in the area. The warnings are going to go out on the app. I have them going on social media as well now. I had a little glitch with that earlier, but we are all fixed up. It doesn't sound as loud outside right now, but yeah, you can see now that storm is moving a little bit off the radar. It's starting to clear a little bit, and we're seeing those darker pinks pop up with a couple little dark spots in there. And that is going to be, let's zoom in here and just show you exactly where the next in line will be. It looks like, again, Roe Gully Road. You had some hail earlier, and it looks like more is coming your way. Hail at Sims, hail on Williford Road and Ball. None of these are surprising, but I do appreciate those reports, and it helps everybody who's reading out there see this stuff. Yeah, a lot of lightning with these. And then eventually down the road here, zoom in on this and see Handley Loop, Stones Way Drive, Ridgeview Drive, more Lions Club, Tioga Road, Tioga High Road, so right there, Pardue, Tioga Elementary, Tioga High School. If you live right near there, we're probably going to see some more hail moving that way and eventually out toward Essler Field Road. Let me see what we're looking at. Yeah, Alexandria, as of now, it looks like just heavy rain. We'll have to watch this stuff out here around Wilda. And you know what? I mean, the way this is kind of lining up here, we may get close to an inch of rain out of this. Let me see what we're getting on our current rainfall totals accumulation. Here we go. Last 3 hours. So if I go in and take a look at this over the last 3 hours, these are radar estimates now, but this is most certainly more than I was expecting, and this is going to come right across northern Rapides Parish. That's where the heaviest rainfall totals are looking like they're falling right now. So it looks like I had said maybe some isolated areas get 2 inches. It's not going to be how you need it. It's not going to fall, gently as we need to see this happen, but it does look like we're going to get at least some much needed rain. It's gonna help Bulow at least. I mean, we're gonna get some water into that thing. It's been just pitiful to see that lately. Severe thunderstorm continues though. Severe thunderstorm warning until about 7:30. There are the storms forming, still right around the radar, kind of cluttering up our view here, but we get the idea, and we know now with all these reports that we have hail. More hail in Tioga. Hail on Powell Drive. Yep. So this is your hail core that's going to be moving. We have this one up here, and I'll zoom out and make that a little bigger. And there we go. It jumped off a little bit again there. So up around Ball, there's one, and here's the other one moving right across Paradise and Kingsville, northern parts of Pineville. We'll see some small hail. We could see some hail, perhaps up to an inch in diameter out of this, and yeah, that's what it's looking like right now, and you can see here at least part of the radar beam is kind of it's opening back up, and this storm is moving off of it, and we really need that to happen so I can see a little more what's going on. As usual, I want to check the velocity. I see nothing, and that is very typical of this kind of setup as well, because we have no low-level wind shear to speak of. We have it, but it's just not really good in the directional sense. We have enough to create very strong storms. We just don't have enough for the tornadoes. Let's see, Vidalia. Yeah, I keep you. I got you. I mean, there's nothing going on there right now. Down the road, yeah, you're going to get in probably an hour and a half or so. That's when these storms are going to head out there, and we're going to see these. You can see right now they're becoming much more linear. We're not getting those single cells like we saw earlier. So the hail threat should come down a bit. I think we'll see more of an isolated damaging wind threat as these continue on toward the east. And this is going to sweep through the entire area. You can see here from Vernon down into Beauregard, that's where these storms are going to move through. Yes, there will be weaker spots, perhaps like west central Rapides Parish out here around Otis, and let's see, what do we have out here? Afman, Heinston, Elmer. These areas, maybe down toward Union Hill. You could miss some of the worst, but we're going to see this move around a little bit as well. So we will see new strong cores develop, and those will move on through the area fairly quickly. I think I hear some rain falling at the house now, and that makes sense. Got that little thing sticking down there, bringing us some moderate to heavy rainfall, lots of lightning and thunder, and, of course, that hail. Yeah, I got time. We'll talk about this storm down here. Rose Pine, DeRitter, yeah, you're in it now. Looks like there could be some hail with that. From what I'm seeing on the National Weather Service, from what they're reporting and what they're seeing, half an inch, maybe 3/4 inch hail. So this is not going to be big damaging hail here. But we do have a lot of heavy rain, a lot of lightning. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, lots of lightning with these storms. Let's put the counter on, and we have 233 strikes just in this view right here. And then we expand it out, and we're close to 600. There we can go over 600 if we include a little Mississippi action there. But lots of electricity in these storms. I'm sure... Actually, let's go ahead and take a look. I haven't heard a lot of power outages, but let's go ahead and take a look. This is going to take just a second here, and I'll leave that up while I'm looking for it. So stop that. And oh yeah, it's raining at the camera now. So at Texas Avenue and Jackson Street, just seeing the rain falling very heavily right now. And what I'm going to do is pull up a frame here that I wanted to see if I can find it. Man, that lightning is bright. Currents. Is that where it would be? I should know this better, shouldn't I? Oh, there it was. Yes. Okay. So we are looking at the current power outages in the area. And it looks like the highest percentage of power outages would be out in Concordia Parish, then Sabine and Natchitoches, but at least some power outages in the area. This is the parish by parish look, and I can actually get numbers on that. How's that work for you? Well, I took Rapides out. Yeah, so that's going to be 100-ish there. So a couple hundred folks, it looks like in each of these parishes that are highlighted are without power right now, and that makes sense. It's not a widespread issue, as it's been more of a hail than a wind thing, and you can see right now, if you are out in Alexandria, it is coming down. Take one more look at radar, then I'm probably going to step away unless I see something that just needs to be talked about, and it doesn't look like anything terribly different is happening right now. Little hail and ball, pea-sized hail in Tioga. Good to hear that these hailstones are not that big. Electricity out in the Tioga area, it is a bummer. At least it's going to get cool afterward. You know, losing power this summer when we'd have like a downburst come through and then it went right back up to 105 degrees. That's not good. But it looks like after this comes through, they'll be able to get out. These crews will be able to get out, and they work so hard to get us get our lights back on. They'll be able to get out and do that. Because after this moves through, we're going to see the severe threat really come down. So if you're behind this line, if you have been through this line, I think we're going to see that severe threat dissipate quickly. So from northwestern Vernon Parish through a good chunk of Grant up kind of, LaSalle, you're still in it right now. But yeah, that severe threat's gonna come down. Power out in Gardner, Elmer. Yeah, I hate to see that. It looks like more power outage reports are coming in. That's the tornado watch out to the northeast. These are all severe thunderstorm warnings you see highlighted there. This is special weather statements. It's kind of like a severe thunderstorm warning in training or something. It's not quite there. It's trying, but it's not making it. So these are for probably 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts, lots of lightning, and hail less than 1 inch in diameter. So I will step away for right now. I'll be watching radar closely, and either Tom or I will pop on later this evening, and we'll talk things talk about things if we need to. Hopefully everything gets a little calmer and we don't have issues to deal with. But I wanted to let you know about that hail threat in northern Rapides Parish in case it went up a little bit and we saw possible damaging hail, but it looks like that was mostly, from the reports I'm seeing, less than an inch in diameter, so some good news there. Please do share the pictures of any hail or damage you see if you can safely do so. It helps us out, and we greatly appreciate it, and so does everyone reading the comments. All right, I'm going to get on